reality sets in, and we're here.
Respect isn't given, it's earned. In blood.
Boxing King Media. We're in the UK, not the US, with Pauli, the Magic Man Malignaggi. I feel like I've gone back in time, Pauli. You're looking like you've de-aged about 10 years and you're looking like you're in brilliant shape days before another fight week.
Yeah, man. It's been a nice ordeal of a chain of events, getting myself back in shape. Really been focused on myself. We accepted to do this fight, and it's been a interesting training camp. We did have an injury. We had to push back the fight a little bit. I guess when you get older, you do deal with some of these things. But overall, it's been a really good experience. Like you said, I feel younger, look younger. When you lose weight, you always look younger. Right? And I've had a younger look. So it was just a matter of losing weight, and I knew I'd have a younger look. I don't have too many white hairs, maybe a few on my beard, but so far none on my hair. But it's been a good experience, and we're here finally at the end of this training camp and ready to fight.
Has your body coped with it? Has your 40-plus-year-old body coped with it?
We've had to train. The old adage says, "Smarter, not harder." But we also, I will say one thing: I was never a person with crazy vices either. So the only real vice that I could say that would be detrimental to me that I had was eating. So it was just a matter of getting off a bad diet. Not eating so reckless. And as soon as I started doing that and getting myself back in shape, my body could jump back into shape, because I was never a big drinker, drugger, or anything like that. Big partier. So I didn't age that way. I just aged and ate. But we focused a lot on nervous system training and conditioning training, before we started with the boxing, and nervous system training really trains your reflexes and your fast twitch muscles, and we stayed on that the entire camp, to be honest. We stayed on mace training as well, weights. I worked with the guys from Addicts, Mace and Fitness, Don Jaffredino and Sebastian Salzer. We did that the whole camp as well. So we did offset some of the boxing with that, and all of the workouts were short. Nothing was really long and sustained. That was a big difference from when I was younger, where I would have long sustained workouts and maybe several a day. Every workout I did, and we did do several a day, it was part of the routine. Routine was basically just working out and sleeping, which I had to, it was like a real training camp back when I was younger, but none of the workouts were long. None of the workouts lasted, most workouts were about 25 minutes. None were longer than 40 minutes, So it was basically burst and stop, burst and stop, burst and stop, and it would be 3 a day, 2 a day. If I could get 4 in a day sometime, then we would have a rest day. No less than 2, no more than 4, but it would be between 2 and 3. But again, nothing was longer than 40 minutes. Nothing was less than 25 minutes. So every time between 25 and 40 minutes. And it was everything at a pace, everything based in motion. Even the strength training was with Addicts, Mace and Fitness clubs. All the weight training wasn't for big strength. It wasn't for heavy weights. It was all based in different motion, And I feel like that's a scientific routine. I've studied, I've read about it. It's old Soviet methods where, you're not just staying in the gym looking for strength. You're looking for strength based in real motion for the sports that you're doing. And I feel like that's what keeps you younger. I feel like that's what, because it sustains your fast twitch muscles, sustains your fascia, it sustains your explosive reflexes, your sprinting, even the running. We did very light running. It was mostly sprinting, We also did, some days we did the what is that bike?
Air bike.
The air bike, sprint drills on the air bike, But again, no more than maybe 5 to 7 minutes, if even that, But that would be a workout in itself. It's a drill of sprints in there, So we did different things, all short. And the reason for keeping it all short is because when your body gets older, you drain out much quicker. You drain natural testosterone levels, you drain out your fatigue much quicker, but you can still have that short explosiveness. And I really noticed this at the end of my career. I would still be pretty good for 7, 8 rounds, but those 9 to 12s were really getting tough at the end of my career, no matter how good a shape I was in, you know? So I realized I haven't had bad vices. I haven't lived badly. I just like to eat, adjust the food, get on the work, and really, you know, I was always somebody who aged slower. I lost my last tooth. I was 13 years old. I was in high school. I lost my last tooth. You know, so I went through puberty late. So I always figured maybe I would age later. But the way I was living, even when I was not fighting, I'll tell you, I would still try to run 2-3 days a week. So I never let myself get completely out of shape, even if I gained weight because I like to eat. I still ran 2-3 days a week. So I still kept that motion. So to get back into a faster motion, it wasn't the craziest thing. It was just a matter of dropping some weight and my body just sort of got back to it, you know? And like I said, being smarter, it was not having those long sustained workouts, you know? And also, you know, the other adjustment was not crazy sparring every 2 days like I used to. You know, I really relied on heavy sparring. I used to rely on heavy violent sparring every 2 days. I can't do that now because your body doesn't bounce back 2 days later. You won't get through training camp. So we did have to adjust it with more pad mitt work and, again, more reflex training, more nervous system training, things like that. So I think we've all said it. We'll see how the fight comes out. But I really think that based on the substitutions we've made due to the age, I think for my body, I know my body pretty well at this age, I think we've reacted well. So we'll see on fight night. I feel good going into the fight.
So I thought you was gonna. I was picturing it like the Rocky movie. I think it's a Creed movie when he comes back and fights Antonio Tarver. I don't know if you remember that training scene. They were like, your joints are done, your bones are done. It wasn't like that then.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was. I mean, to a degree, it's not to that crazy degree. I mean, I feel like in Rocky they made him look like he was like totally decrepit. You know, I was not totally decrepit. Like I just had to drop weight. Honestly, once I dropped the weight, my body was reacting because again, we were working already on the mace motion and mace with the weights in motion. We were working on nervous system training, you know, the explosive first steps and sprinting and the air bike, stuff like that. So we were working on those, everything off motion, strength off motion. So once the weight came down, the spring in my feet was already getting there, you know, and all that. So it was getting there. You know, you can't spar the same way for sure. So there, yeah, maybe the movie does apply, but everything else, honestly, I don't know. Rocky was a heavyweight. I'm smaller, you know. But the spring in my legs was still there, you know. But we really worked at it. We really worked to perfect it, to get it back, you know. That getting that explosive first steps back. We'll see in the fight, but that explosive first step is really important. Especially it was always to my boxing style as well, you know, to really offset you with that explosive step in and out. And so, you know, we worked on that a lot. We worked on getting those kind of things back. We worked on like I said, explosiveness, nervous system, and the strength combined with motion. So we'll see.
The whole setup of it is quite mad because seeing your friend Pete here, I remember watching him in the documentaries back in the day. And it's good to see that he's still supporting you even though you've come out of retirement again. Yeah. So that's a proper day one. Is that you want to jump in on the camera, Pete? Because I think you're like a proper day one. I think if people have seen Pauli's journey, and I've watched it from day one, and
you've seen the Magic Man documentary, he was in it.
I can't quit.
He's aged a bit though.
And I've gotten heavier. But I figure we're going to end it the way we started. You know, I can't abandon him now, right? No. Even though he's crazy.
Yeah, he's crazy. What I always say to a lot of young boxers is keep your circle small, and the guys that are with you from day one, remember them. And it's good to see that, you know, you've been with him from his pro journey, amateur days, and you're now even in his bloody bare knuckle days.
Yeah.
He gives me a heart attack, but I got to do what I got to do.
Definitely, yeah. I saw you getting your fight kit made, Paulie. That must have been a bit weird, getting your fight, because you was quite flashy with the fight kit, the ring walks. Can we expect something like that?
You know, not as crazy. I had Lucente make my fight kit. Lucente is my buddy Antonio. He's in Italy, and he's really growing in the fight kit business. Makes some really badass fight kits. A few top guys, like top fighters like Clarissa Shields and Adrian Broner have worn him as well. And I think, you know, more people would like his stuff if they find out about it. You know, he's at Lucente_boxing on Instagram. You definitely got to check him out. And I had him make my outfit. It's not, I would say it's not as flashy as some of my previous ring attire, but still nice, a little bit of flash. And, you know, I still do enjoy feeling good, because you know what? Feeling good is fighting good for me, you know? So I always want to have that flair when I come to the ring, or in this case, come to the Trigon, because it gives me that boost of confidence. It gives me that boost of, I've got to live up to this look,
It's showtime.
When I was in the amateurs, I don't know, maybe it's a Western American or American thing. When I was in the amateurs, a lot of times as goofy teenagers, we used to judge our opponents based on their outfits, So if we had a guy who had a corny outfit, we knew he couldn't fight, And usually we were right, So you had to you had to put some time into your outfits too. So I don't know. I come from that generation, so it's still I still kind of apply it to myself.
Are you wearing a headband? A Magic Man headband?
I don't have enough hair anymore.
His hair's going to be normal.
I don't have enough hair anymore. I pulled out too much hair between the crazy colors and
Cornrows.
the cornrows and braids, Jamaican braids. Actually, I got to thank Get More Hair, GMH, Get More Hair, for replacing my hair and transplanting it, because I had destroyed my hair with all those crazy hair ideas, and they're actually based in London. They've got doctors in Istanbul, but they're based in London. If you guys, give a big shout out and a lot of love to GMH, Get More Hair, because they fixed my hair. You guys saw me in the last Bareknuckle fight.
Well, the headband thing was your thing, though, wasn't it? You used to wear one all the time. 18 years ago, I went to New York. I wasn't doing any of this media content stuff, and I came across your manager. I was supposed to meet up with you, but I missed you. But your manager said you left me something. 18 years I've had this.
Wow.
So
That's the Edna Cherry fight.
there you go. Wow. So you gave me that, and I've had this for 18 years. It's in the shirt. So I've had.
So this headband, right?
Yeah.
The day of the weigh-in was the day my daughter was born.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
It's
the
the only
next
fight he
day-
wasn't in the corner for.
Yeah.
Because his daughter was born the day before. Yeah.
You gave me that. You gave me that 18 years ago. I don't know if you.
About Anthony
Yeah.
Catanzaro.
Yeah. Anthony, yeah.
So I don't. If you want to wear it on Fight Night, then I'll take it back. If it's up to you.
You keep.
all yours, brother.
It's. I want to keep my past. I don't want to intermix it. It's funny. Now you're bringing up this conversation, so it makes me think of something. I remember I met Eric Cantona one time in the box at a New York Red Bull game,
Amazing guy, Cantona.
and he was in the box. And my manager, the one who gave you the headband, he's a big football guy. He goes, and I didn't recognize Cantona because he was behind us. He had a big beard, and he's also a bigger guy than I realized. Man, Cantona was big, man.
I never met him.
So he's sitting behind us, and we have a box for ourselves. And in the box, you have the inside and you sit outside. So we're just us. And my manager goes, Eric Cantona behind us. And I was like, get out of here. I turn around. And now that I know it's Eric Cantona, I can see that it's Eric Cantona. But if I don't realize it's Eric Cantona, I wouldn't recognize that it's Eric Cantona. So I started talking to him, and he really nice gentleman of a man. And I remember I talked to him and I asked him, do you ever think about, because I was still active as a fighter at that time. So I was like, do you ever think about, being back out there? You miss it. And he says, no. He goes, if you live in the past, you get depressed. He goes, I don't think of the past. I only think forward. I never think of the past. And nostalgia gets you depressed. And it's sad, but it's true. Because I like to live in nostalgia in the past a lot of times. And then, and sometimes I do get sad thinking about it, right? But so in that regard, if I'm going to do this, I can't do it with a thought to my past. I have to, and that's why I say keep the headband, because I have to. It's a different application of psychology in this fight. I haven't even. I've completely really revamped my thinking here for this fight. I know my opponent is Tyler Goodjohn, but I haven't thought a lot about him, honestly. Like we thought about him as far as we needed a worthy opponent, and so that's why we chose Tyler. Tyler had, he's been a guy who's given blood and guts in the sport, and really is part of the reason why it's grown. So we thought, he was very deserving of a fight like this, but. That's it, really. Other than that, I have not really thought about Tyler. I know he's capable, and I know I'll see him ready and performing on fight night. But it's just been about myself, getting myself back on track mentally, physically, psychologically. Getting myself in the right headspace. Revisiting old emotions and transferring them to these modern emotions today that I have to feel, because I don't want to tie in my past to my present. I know a lot of people will want to do that, and a lot of people will want to ask, and those questions will probably come up in the coming days, but it's really just been about getting the best of myself. I haven't really thought about Tyler Goodjohn. I've thought about it. Every single day it's the battle against me, the battle against me, and every single day it's one victory after another as far as getting the workouts done, getting sharper, getting better, and overcoming different motivations, different days, but being disciplined every single day, and we're here, and I think that mentality is the reason why I've been able to do this at this age, and I feel confident about Saturday night.
I wish you all the best with that. And I just wanted to bring that up because, like I said, it's weird because when you gave me that, there was no Boxing King media, not for another 6 years. I never even had the idea of doing that. Yeah. So it's mad how it's a full life circle moment 18 years later.
Sign it for you.
Yeah.
Well, he gave me like a card or something, so I will try and find a way of you signing that. But yeah, I've kept that for nearly 20 years now, so amazing. Did you
Now
watch?
Boxing King Media is huge, bro.
Yeah,
Boxing King is huge.
Like Pauli Malignaggi is huge. You're a legend. Do you know what I mean? So you said you was going to be a future legend, and that you are. With regards to the boxing at the weekend, did you watch the Matchroom show?
No, who fought? Oh.
Dave Allen, Makhmudov.
No, I didn't see it, but I heard about it. I heard Allen didn't throw any punches.
Yeah, but he said he said he was easily to say that, but he couldn't get in a position to throw the punches because the big dude was like just non-stop.
I thought he was gonna beat Makhmudov. I tell you, I thought I'm thinking sometimes you fall into that sparring partner mentality. Allen has been in a lot of training camps, you know, and sometimes that you kind of fall into that unwillingly. And I'm telling you, Makhmudov, he just looks scary, but he's not. He's not as good as he looks, you know. If looks could kill, right? I mean, but he's not. I think, you know, didn't Guido knock him out, right? Guido knocked him out too, yeah. And Guido
Bust his eye. He was a bust eye. Yeah.
And Guido had a big stoppage of the weekend too, right? On the other show in Philadelphia. Yeah, I mean, I was surprised. But yeah, I guess, you know, you got to take Dave's word for it. You know, I think Dave's a good little fighter, but sometimes that too many training camps with too many top guys, you go into that sparring partner mentality, and it may have been what it was for him. That's what I was
Too
told.
many fights without the proper guidance, like coming up, right? He's
No, I mean, he's always been capable. It's just he's been in a lot of training camps. You know, I've heard that a lot of guys have had him in camp, right? So
But he took on like everybody, like coming right out of the gate.
yeah. No, not I wouldn't say out of the gate, but he was always capable. He was always, what do they call him, Big Sexy or something like that?
White Rhino.
Yeah,
Oh, White Rhino, but he called himself Big Sexy.
He called himself that. When he put that thing in his,
Yeah.
Last quick answer on this one for you. Jaron Ennis, he got a bit of stick for his opponent. Obviously not his fault. They couldn't find anybody else. But is Jaron Ennis as good as Eddie Hearn is saying he is the next pound for pound star, winning titles up to 168, he's saying?
Remains to be seen. I think the potential's there, but these are not easy weight classes. So let's see, you know, including 154. It's not easy. So we'll see. I think there are good fighters. Sometimes they come around in tough times. Sometimes they come around in easier times. This is a very difficult time to be at 154. So I think Jaron is a world-class fighter, but winning a world championship at 154 right now is not a guarantee. It's a very difficult weight class, but we'll see where he fits in. But I'd like to see him in a big fight.
I'd like
soon.
to see him with Virgil Ortiz and see if one of them knocks each other off and then go after one of the title holders like Xander Zayas.
I personally would not want to see him with Virgil right now. I think they're two big Western fighters. I think I'd rather see them fight for titles first. And if they can win titles, then that fight should be a title fight. I think if Jaron and Virgil is made, I think that fight should be a title fight.
But that's kind of like proving who's there and who's not. If they both have titles, like
but I mean,
that's a unification.
Keith Thurman's 36. He's
fight.
getting a title fight. So
Yeah.
I mean, the Jaron and Virgil should get title fights. You know, but
I feel like Boots has it all, you know, against these guys. Let's see him against the top level.
Last thing for you, Peter. You've known Pauli since day one. I can't let you go without maybe sharing an embarrassing, quick, short story from Pauli's life outside boxing.
Outside of boxing?
Yeah, you must have some embarrassing stories.
Where do I start?
Just give me one quick, short one.
So a quick short one. We were trapped in a snowstorm at my house, and everybody knows I like to drink sangria, and he doesn't drink. So we were like playing board games, nothing else to do. You know, snow was up to here. I said, have a little sangria. Before you know it, he has like 2 glasses, 3 glasses, and he was on a chair that was like on its edge, and we're playing, and all of a sudden he just starts going down slowly, and all of a sudden the chair shatters and he's on the floor.
yeah, like I said, I haven't had too many crazy vices, you know. So it's you know, that's one of the G-rated ones we give you, you know.
When we were very young, okay, his first car, 2001 Ford Mustang GT, canary yellow. You couldn't miss us. We're driving, we're getting ready to go out. Me, him, and his brother, Umberto. And and I said, bro, you got a flat? He goes, how did I get a flat? I said, I don't know, pull over.
Oh,
I said,
couldn't believe
you got a flat. We got to jack it up. I don't have a jack. I didn't buy a jack. I said, it comes with the car. It's factory. I said, you twist this thing in the trunk, you open it, you have a spare and a jack. So I take out the jack, and you know, it's like this when it's closed, right? And you got to crank
I'm
it.
not Mr. Handyman at all. You know, by the
So
way,
he
this
tells-
is going to show you how bad I
So
am.
he tells me, Are you kidding me?
That's gonna lift.
This little thing's gonna lift my car. I go, it's called a jack. That's what it
I
does.
was talking to him like he was the idiot. I was like, get out of here. I was like, let's call someone. Let's call a tow truck or something. This isn't gonna lift my car. It's gonna break my car trying to lift this thing.
I start cranking it,
lifted.
cranking
Oh,
it.
it's
The
a jack.
Mustang's going up like this. He goes, whoa, it lifted my car. I said, it's a jack. Those are some of the
And
little
I
stuff.
have not learned to be very handy even since. But thank God I know how to fight.
Yeah.
Couple of great stories there. Just gives us an insight into your friendship. So yeah, appreciate that. Thank you very much, and all the best on Saturday night, Pauli. Hopefully, we're going to see you roll back the years.
Yeah, I hope so, man. I feel like I've done a lot of that in camp. Let's see on fight night. But I'm really excited. I'm excited to just be back in front of a crowd, be back on the lights, hear the bell ring and going at it. You know, and I'm excited about having a good fighter in front of me who deserves it as well. You know, I feel like Good John has not gotten the praise he deserves in the sport too. So it'll be good for both of us.
Nice speaking to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Pleasure.
You know, the dreams do come true. The reality sets in, and you know, we're here.
Respect isn't given, it's earned.